ever happened? How did this come about? I can play with other people that are just anywhere? This is amazing! But the old internet required a phone line. If you were anything like anybody in the 90s, your parents were like, we need to get call waiting. And whenever anybody called on the call waiting, the little click sound that it would make would disconnect the internet connection, giving the person who was calling the ability to interrupt your game. Yeah, I'm sure whatever important thing they had to say over the telephone was definitely important enough to kick me off of Phantasy Star Online. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Number 8, dealing with a mechanical mouse. Okay, so you know how mice use lasers now? You literally never find one with the ball in them. Yeah, it used to only be the ball. There used to never be lasers in mice. And those things got so dirty, you'd never think that they could collect the amount of dirt that they did. Especially seeing mice now, which collect no dirt, but they would accumulate dirt, and they would stop working because the dirt would get all over the wheels inside. And then you'd have a little hump to get over, which would generally be fine for your normal spreadsheet-oriented activities, but Doom, but Quake? Oh no. You would hit that spot where you need to go just a little bit further, because you were aiming, and then you'd go all the way over the little hump thing, and it'd be too far. Damn good thing this got resolved before games like Overwatch existed, because that would be a nightmare. Number 7, winners don't do drugs PSAs. Considering drugs can mean anything nowadays, it could mean legal things, it could mean illegal things. It's really very non-specific. They don't put that in front of a lot of stuff now. But in arcades in the 90s, people thought, you know what? If we get between people and the game that they're trying to play with a screen, oh yeah, winners actually just beat the game. In the context of a game, it doesn't matter if you did drugs. In fact, in some esports competitions, they're having to ban people from using drugs that help them win too much. So winners don't do drugs? I don't know. Winners maybe don't get caught doing drugs. Just to clarify, that was not an endorsement of drugs. Number 6, games without a password or save function, like Chip and Dale's Rescue game where you just literally had to beat it. You know why Mega Man worked? Because it had a password function. You could be like, alright, I've got these powers. I'm going to continue this on another day. Thank you. You know how Mega Man actually could have been the absolute worst? If there was no way to continue the game later. And like I said, there were a lot of games that were like this. This was, I think, one of the big functions that kept video games from being considered anything more than a toy for quite a while, because if nothing you did was meaningful, if it never saved what you were doing, continue it, how could you inject that much meaning? Or you can remove the philosophical underpinnings from this and be like, yeah, it was the most annoying thing ever. Either way, it's completely valid. Number 5, playing a Game Boy or a handheld game on road trips before backlighting became standard on screens. Oh, that was a nightmare, because let's just go ahead and say it, driving is terrible. If you're like a kid on a road trip going somewhere that takes several hours, it is torture. You know how your phone gets lighter when you're outside? It's to compensate for all the light that's going straight at your phone. You don't even need an explanation for why it has a light on at night, because otherwise you literally couldn't see it. And that's how handheld. Number 4, a missing cartridge in a series or a missing disc in a 3 or 4 disc game. Okay, so you know how as soon as audio and video were introduced into games, games got a lot bigger. CD quality music, full motion video. CDs had 640 megabytes on them. Megabytes. That's not even 1 gigabyte. So if a game took out 4 gigabytes, it's about 5 or 6 discs. And sure, if you had discs 1 through 3 and 5, you could only go so far in the game. If you were one of those people who kept their game discs in like a disc folder, oh, this was eventually going to happen to you. And not being able to beat a long game with a story you're engrossed in, like Final Fantasy 7 or 8, you're just like, oh my god, why did I not take better care of these discs? And then months later, you found the